Good afternoon of the Executive Council of the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association. We have the Treasurer, Honorable Justice Edward Murithi. We have the Vice President, Honorable Yoda Yator. We have Honorable Kiongo Kagenyo. And we have the Vice Secretary General, Honorable Kadhi Dafa. I'm going to read a statement from the Executive Council, and the members of the Council will be able to take a few questions after my statement. This is the statement in respect to the recent online attacks by members of the Law Society. The Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association has noted with great online onslaught on the judiciary, its leadership, judges and judicial officers. These reprehensible attacks come from a group of legal practitioners who have served in the leadership of the Law Society of Kenya. The association has keenly analyzed these online attacks. Their systematic nature, execution and sustained onslaught demonstrates an unorthodox and unconstitutional attempt to cajole the judiciary, its leadership, judges and magistrates towards a self-serving agenda. The association and its membership, comprising of judges and judicial officers, value the sacred delegated judicial responsibility bestowed upon them by the people of Kenya. The judges and judicial officers have always exercised this vested delegated authority with utmost commitment, dedication, and sacrifice, working under difficult circumstances with strained resources to ensure that justice is delivered. In this respect, the association and its members undertake to remain true to their oaths of office in exercising the delegated judicial authority at all times. We take it as the greatest honor to serve all persons who present disputes before the courts. As an association, we, however, appreciate that at times we may fall short of some expectations and are hence not immune to criticism. Indeed, we welcome constructive criticism as it serves as a mirror for reflection and introspection, since every responsibility calls for transparency and accountability. This acknowledgement is made well aware that judges and judicial officers must keep abreast of the developments in society and the legal landscape through continuous training as may be appropriate. Similarly, the judiciary, as judges and magistrates, as part of society, ought to advance the judicial cause outside the confines of the courtroom through all acceptable media such as radio and television stations. In order to ensure and enhance transparency and accountability, the judiciary has at all times engaged stakeholders through various channels, including court user committees, bar bench committees, and radio and television stations. The engagements have been held right from the local court stations up to the national level through the National Council on Administration of Justice. The association notes that the leadership of the judiciary has agreed to a request by a prominent member of the Law Society of Kenya for a meeting to discuss matters of mutual concern. Such engagements we have and will enrich the administration of justice in the country by providing avenues for exchanging ideas, offering and receiving criticism, and providing a platform to offer solutions, both localized and national. One such engagement was held on the 23rd of August 2024 between the Executive and National Councils of this association and the National Council of the Law Society of Kenya. In that meeting, the councils discussed and resolved on the way forward regarding how complaints are to be formally lodged and resolved amicably to enhance the rule of law and administration of justice. Therefore, online attacks against the judiciary, judges and judicial officers, as well as other forms of intimidation of judges and judicial officers outside the formal avenues, pose an unwarranted distraction from the dispensation of justice and adjudication of justice. The threats are an assault to the rule of law and the administration of justice. It is therefore quite disheartening and a show of bad faith for members of the Law Society of Kenya to renege from raising concerns through formal avenues in place, abandon the well-established complaints mechanisms, and opt to deploy eccentric tactics such as cyberbullying and other forms of online attacks for ulterior motives. The association urges all stakeholders to continue engaging the judiciary with genuine concerns regarding judicial processes and any notable inefficiencies. Our members are committed to ensuring that the judiciary not only remains transparent and accountable, but also is seen as being accountable while providing services to all Kenyans. In this regard, our members call for an immediate cessation of all forms of blanket condemnation and welcome any actionable, evidence-based complaints for action. The association therefore condemns the ongoing and escalating public attacks on the judiciary. These attacks only serve to undermine its integrity and authority. The recent incidents in which judges and judicial officers have been personally attacked on social media, albeit very callously and unfairly, will, with ill-conceived insults, degrade their important role in our democracy and are a recipe for crippling our institutions, choking the independence of our judicial institutions, and ultimately degenerating into a state of lawlessness. This is unacceptable. We stand firm against such orchestrated schemes intended to destabilize our institution, erode public trust in the judiciary, and interfere with the functionalities of the judiciary, particularly as we approach the general elections scheduled for 2027. We must call out those who seek to dismantle the very judiciary they claim must be protected. Their relentless and conscionable attacks not only jeopardize the institution, endanger the rule of law in our country, but also exhibit a Dunning-Kruger syndrome. Evidently, the assaults are self-serving and rooted in undisclosed but potently discernible selfish interests that threaten the very fabric of our society. We implore the public to recognize the hidden ill motives behind these efforts and to always remember that any attempt to undermine the judiciary ultimately hinders justice for all Kenyans. While acknowledging some of the gaps that need urgent redress, we propose the following urgent interventions. Number one, full implementation of Article 173 of the Constitution and immediate complete implementation of the Judiciary Fund. Number two, robust engagement between the leadership of the Law Society of Kenya and the leadership of the judiciary at all levels through the established channels. We urge the leadership of the judiciary under the stewardship of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Her Ladyship Justice Martha Koome, to remain steadfast and protect the independence of the judiciary. We recognize our tireless efforts in advancing judicial independence, transparency, and the rule of law. We assure Her Ladyship and the entire judiciary leadership team of our unwavering support, remaining true to our oath of office, guided by the dictates of Article 159 of the Constitution of Kenya. We call upon all stakeholders and all Kenyans to engage in good faith and recognize the judiciary's role as the beacon of hope in our democratic society. Together, let us fortify our institutions, ensuring that they serve the interest of all and maintain the confidence of the public. That is the statement. We can now take a few questions.
We have noted the online onslaught, which is so systemic, from specific members who have held leadership positions, as the judge has said, like the 49th president of the LSJ and a former commissioner of the JSC, Mr. Ahmed Nasir, among others. Yes.
For next week between the leadership of the judiciary and the Law Society of Kenya, and that will be amongst the topics for discussion.
Maybe does this touch
involved? What I can say is that none has come to our knowledge at the moment, but what we are handling are the attacks from the LSK. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other question?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming at short notice. Who can we share with a soft copy of these